We're going to have time. So, hello, everybody. I am Patrice Garrison. As you all know, I am your short form video guide for the night as we get you all not just comfortable, but converting through short form video. And so, we are gathered here today to create a 3-month strategy plan, even if you have very cold leads. Why is that important? There are times in business where one of two things happen. Either we've shifted focus and what we want to offer, right? Our business is taking a different direction and now we want to attract people for a different offer, or something that's very like underspoken about is that you may want to target a different type of person. And so those of y'all who don't know my background, I come from direct sales. That was like my start to business ownership. And so when I pivoted out of direct sales and I wanted to start a social media agency, this was back in 2019, I knew that my customers for direct sales would not necessarily convert over because that was very business to consumer. And now I wanted to do business to business. It did not make sense for me to keep talking to the same audience for the next 5 years who did not have need for what I wanted to offer. So at any point in time, the strategy that I'm going to teach you guys tonight is for conversion, period. We're just going to apply it to video. And just really quick, Thais and Veronique, thank you ladies for being here. They are our extension of our heart as SOS strategists. So they collectively have gathered at least 20,000 followers this year alone. Veronique on TikTok, Thais on Instagram. And so they are here as a second and third eye and ear as you guys go through this process. So as questions come up, you literally get to borrow our brains. How would we approach it? And you guys know I have I've collected over 220,000 followers total on social media in little pockets because I like to start little businesses and then, for fun. It's fun. But yes, I need your bio. So we'll definitely get, I'll type in the chat here some of our Instagrams. Founder of Me is my life and business coaching brand that is sitting right now because who's gonna run it? I'm not available, but it's there, right? And so that's my main Instagram page. And so they can drop their Instas and TikToks in the chat. And of course, for you all, I mean, absolutely, even if it's not Veronique or Thais, please drop it. I want to make sure I follow you guys and engage with you guys on social media. And I think we should do that for each other. So they're here, second eyes and ears. Just a reminder, so some housekeeping. We'll go through this today. I want to have time, a bit of time for Q&A. So I'm going to speak for maybe 30 to 40 minutes. And then that gives us the last 40 minutes or so to go over your actual brand. My goal, especially because our class size, we have a couple folks missing. Oh, Stacy! Hello, 3,600 views in a day. Okay. And so congratulations. That's beautiful. And so that's what we want to celebrate, not even just like the numbers, but just knowing that means that you're resonating, right? Like the content you're creating, you're hitting it, you're nailing it. And it's trial and error. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So we are going to, again, first half is just teaching you all how to think about social strategy. Second half is bring your business to the stage, so to speak. Let's look through it. I want you guys to be confident about your own individual strategy. The group will be open, so it kind of like launches today. I wanted you guys to have access to it, but after today, it's here. So like you guys have access to my eyes and my ears even after today. Go test out what you've learned. Go write out your strategy. Do as much as you can in the next 15 days or so while you have that CMO support, right? And so that is what I'm here for, specifically for video. And then we'll talk at the very end how I can continue to support you guys if you need more support. Then that. Okay, so that's enough housekeeping. Let's get right into it. So 10-second videos to 10K contracts. That is why we are here. The first thing that we want to get into is really understanding the sales cycle also known as the buyer cycle, also known as the customer journey. You may have heard any of these terms before. I feel like any presentation I'm going to give, yes, you can. Please post this on social. Thank you for that question. So take screenshots. I put lashes on. So I put lashes on for y'all. Okay. These were not on an hour ago. And so take the pictures. So absolutely. So anything that we do, when it comes to, again, social media, we're going to think about it in terms of the sales cycle. You guys are advanced versus other business owners. You guys have successful running businesses, so I don't have to preach about why these are important. But what I do want to do is start to really ingrain in your brain while we pause before we create content, and how to create that strategy to ensure you are speaking to your client where they are. So what I want you guys to do is write on your paper or wherever you're taking notes, meet your clients where they are. That is like the moral of the story with this. And I think we assume that our clients are ready to purchase, or that they really understand their problem in a way that we are the obvious solution. That is not true. One of the best tips of advice I've ever gotten in business is assume people know less than you think they know. Assume people know less than you think they know. So you might be like, bro, I've posted every day this year. What do you mean people don't know what I do? What do you mean people are unsure of how to work with me? And I've had that reality check like just this week, where I just came back from the mastermind with Donna St. Louis and Chanel Evans. And they were like, we were excited to bring you in the room because we didn't really know what you did. Huh? Dang, I got some work to do, right? And so it just goes to show that, again, people know less than we think they know. So problem aware, just to recap this, problem aware is your customer is aware of what their needs are, but they don't know much else. 80% of your buyers are probably going to be in this stage unless you're intentionally doing something different. We call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of people really don't have full clarity. They just know they have a problem. 10% are going to say yes no matter what. Okay, you can be selling dog poo, and if they like you enough, they're going to buy it. And 10% are going to say no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to be ready to purchase. It is imperative that you understand what bucket people fall into, and that you're not trying to turn your hard nose into yeses, that you aren't trying to over-educate your immediate yeses, right? And that you don't ignore the sales cycle for the others. Solution aware means that your buyer is now looking for a solution. They're now actively there. I've worked with a business recently that her main issue, and so context, this is how I troubleshoot your businesses. When you come to me and you're like, my content's not converting, this is the cycle that I'm analyzing and scrubbing your content through to see where is the gap. And so for this particular client, she has pivoted into some mindset coaching work from some previous done for you work. And she is like, I don't have leads. I don't generate any leads. Like, people come to me for referrals only, but I'm not getting a lot of traffic. I'm not getting a lot of people reaching out through DMs. I'm not getting a lot of people doing anything besides engaging with my content. And when I analyzed her content, it's because she had no problem where all of her content assumed that people knew how to solve their problem of mindset. But do they know they have a mindset issue? Right. And so that is part of that, in analyzing. Solution ready, again, that means that they are ready to buy. They're just figuring out who they're buying from. And solution loyal means that they are now your advocates. They're brand ambassadors. They're like, you are the best ever, and I'm going to tell everybody about you. And so what I want you guys to do, if you haven't already, paper, pen, if you're using your phones, however you want to make note of this, but I want you guys to make note of what your customers are looking for in this stage of your business. And if you need help with this, this is why this is a workshop and not a masterclass. I do like pop in the chat and say, I actually don't know how my ideal client sees their problem. I want to help you guys through this. If you're like, yeah, like, but what are their other options? I'm the best ever. Like, what are other options? Like, she said, hello. Why are you looking elsewhere? I'm right in your face. And so, I want to help you guys work through this. So yes, Takesha. So if you want to, come on stage for me, come off mute. Let's talk through this together. I think it'll be helpful for folks to, and I know your business very well. So Takesha actually has been one of my mindset coaches around money. And so this is very special for me to help her through this. So you ready, girl?
I am. I got my paper and my pen, and I'm ready.
Okay. So let's talk about problem aware for you, right? So problem aware, why do people seek you out?
Um, so with the mindset stuff, I'm not sure that they're seeking me out. I
Okay.
think they may have stumbled upon me, or they're either residual people who knew me from CFO services.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily know if they're seeking me out, but I do know that the clients or the people that I have, they are staying, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So like my email list, my engagement, my open rate is like almost 47%. So they're staying, but they aren't converting. And I'm not gaining new people either.
Okay. This is exciting. So if you're okay with it, I'd like to use you as an example for most of this.
Yeah,
Um,
girl.
okay,
Get my
let us
life.
do it. And Corinda says, I feel like most people don't know they need mindset help until you hit them in the face with it. And they're like, wait, this is me. Yes.
Yes.
Punch him in the nose. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, and this is great because I have a couple mindset related people in the room. So, when you are a mindset oriented business, let's coin that, right? And I think all of us have a certain component of that because you have to teach people how to think regardless of your business. That is law. When you go into business, you have signed up to teach people how to think. So, like, write that down. My primary job is to teach people how to. It sounds very like manipulation. I promise it's not that. It's just literally if we don't see a problem from a certain angle, we won't do it. Case in point, and I'm gonna move forward. In the mastermind that we just came from, our goal was to 10x our business through a strategy, right? So I'm bringing that to y'all today. I'm bringing the bacon home to y'all, and so the activity that we did was write down your business projections for 2023 and 10x them on paper. Okay, yawn, boring, right? Like anyone can do that. But what we had to do was actually start to design out if my business really was 10 times larger in income, that means it's 10 times larger in volume in terms of inquiries. It means it's 10 times larger in terms of output and deliverables. Who the heck is going to do all of this, right? And so we started to map out, well, what team do I need? If I have a crap ton of leads that are 10x my leads, who's calling these people? I need a sales team now, right? If I have content, right, that needs to be cranked out, I need to be omnipresent. If my business is doing that well where I'm converting all the time, I don't slow up and post less. I post more. I post 7 times a day now because I know that I know my messaging so crispy that like y'all are gonna get me all day, right? And then of course in the conversion cycle, I'm emailing, I'm making those high touches, I'm getting on the phones, but I need a team. I say all that to say we sometimes are so aware mindset wise of the like surface level problem, which is I can't even imagine being 10 times bigger. You stop there. So as a mindset person, you are dealing with people having blocks, right? Mindset, that's such a thing, right? Mindset blocks. So you want to help expose to them that you have knowledge of their likely blocks. So I'll write that down. Number one, what are the top 3 blocks that my clients have? Until you really get acquainted with this, they are not going to be able to see you as a solution because they only see the block. Um, and so what your customers are seeking is new perspective on their blocks. I'm giving y'all the answer, right? That's what I would put there. New perspective on their blocks. So if we're going into new year and their mindset block is no, like I'm just going to wait to new year to make changes, right? That's such a popular perspective. I'm going to wait till new year. I'm going to make the resolution and I'll make the necessary changes. Why is that problematic? You need tools. Setting a resolution never works for anybody because if you don't acquire new tools, you're going to end up in the same place you were. Like you're not where you are because you got busy, block, right? You're not where you are because you didn't have money, block, right? You're where you are because you don't have the tools. How can we acquire the tools needed. And so last point on that, but most of us aren't taught this mindset, right? We get taught as children and as even adults that like it is what it is, and that is just what it is. That's all. That's it. That's all. So your customers don't know this, but they do seek validation in a way. So, hey, I get it, right? You are looking to wait till Jan 1 to start that weight loss journey, to start that business, to mow your lawn. I don't know, because you know that there's a fresh energy that comes along with New Year's. Validate them, right? But let me tell you the secret. It's not that New Year resolutions don't work. They absolutely do, validation, right? But they don't work without tools. Let me tell you about tools.
Got it.
Yes, good, 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 good. Okay. So yes, as a mindset coach, yes, you guys are called to disrupt their pattern of thinking, but you can't disrupt a pattern without validation. And so triggers at that point are always emotional, right? And so at the end of all of this, we want to bring it home with how they want to feel. You want to finally be proud of yourself, right? I get it. Like you finally want a new year to pop up and you actually do that thing. And so I don't want you to go into another year disappointed. I don't want you to even be scared to bring out the vision board or be scared to make the resolution because you don't want to disappoint yourself. It's not you, right? Don't blame yourself. We want to get to the bottom of what tools you are missing. And so that is so good. That's so good. So, Stacy, for Facebook ads, so for you, the block for a lot of people is the money, right? Not getting enough sales, not investing in growth. For you, your biggest challenge in the marketplace, and what I would do if I were you, I would spend at least a month campaign. Doesn't have to be right now, but I think that you have to debunk or help people identify when they are truly ad ready. When I think about ads, and I mean, I've worked with businesses that have used ads, but I have not used them in my own brand just yet. So I'm excited to come see you this upcoming year. But everyone that I've ever met is just like, I have to be pretty much at 500K a year before I introduce this. Or more importantly, especially if you're crossing over to coaches, consultants, we don't know. We don't have a product. We don't even know how to sell like through ads. And so almost again, you don't assume we know more than you think we do. So what can we run ads for? Like give us the complete, like you and like Patricia, of course you can run an ad for a challenge, girl. What's wrong with you? We don't know, Stacey. We don't know. And so if someone has a free 3-day challenge, they absolutely should be running an ad for it, right? Go get traffic. You know, other ways, like take us to school, because coaches and consultants just are not raised through their business coaches to address ads at all unless they are a part of a very small school of thought.
Can I add something, Patrice,
Yes,
to help Stacy from my perspective on like for me in ads? I
yes.
think there's this notion out there that you have to spend a lot in ads and then it doesn't convert, or you spend a lot and you still may not, hit your ideal audience, or it's so confusing on how to create the ad and it's so time consuming. And so there's all of these things telling us not to do the ad, even though we want to do the ad, but it seems like so complicated and we don't want to risk the investment not returning us getting a return on our investment, because it's so prevalent that Facebook ads don't work.
That's a really good point. And I do see what you're saying, Stacey, where you're targeting e-commerce brands. So hopefully just taking just our notes, even if you're not targeting us, that still could be a mindset block. So I would say for you, I would look at it as, can y'all still see this? I'm not sure what I clicked. It's not so much what their goals, like they want to get more sales, wouldn't be so much of a block. It would be like, well, yeah, I actually kind of want to run ads, but what is keeping me, like what's the barriers that like we have to break through? And so I would kind of use that same list in the event of if you're like, no, I do feel like everyone that I'm interacting with that's my target, like is fully versed in that, then of course, free to proceed. But that's just perspective in terms of how I break any business down, right? Let me know if that resonates or if you need some more support there. But I would target it as like most mindset blocks in business are going to be related to money, related to time, related to know-how, support, context, or related to strategy, basically, right? But that usually is like a secondary thing. And thank you so, so much for sharing that. So this is great. Like, hopefully this just gives you the ability to continue to create that content, Stacey. This is so helpful. So that kind of covers us. It's Barika, right? Make sure, or is it Barica? Please let me know I'm saying that right.
That's right.
Which one?
Barika.
Barika.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
So your target mid-sized healthcare organizations for employee engagement. This is so great. Okay. Clients are employees quiet quitting, outright quitting, and leaders being overwhelmed. So these are actually pain points, right? So UNCC gave me pain points, but the blocks, right? The blocks are going to actually be their objections to why they have not even sought out the proper support, right? They just sit with their problem. So block in your case would be, how much does it cost? How did exactly, thank you, Vernique. So block would be, how much is it going to cost for us to bring someone in? How can we quantify the results? Like, what's the direct correlation between employee engagement and us actually preventing quiet quitting? You like, this is duh information. If you bring in engagement, they're not going anywhere. They don't know. So assume they don't know. And yeah, so again, you're problem aware is correct, but I want you guys to marry the problem aware to the blocks. So make sure your content is feeding both of them in, right? Yes, I acknowledge that, like, you're super overwhelmed because your leaders are quitting, your employees are quitting, and you can't stop the leak. However, you really don't know about the benefit. Like you've heard of solutions, but like, can employee engagement really stop this issue? Like, that sounds too simple, right? That's a block. So like, yes, you know your problem. Now you're like, I don't know. Yes. So then you bring that point in terms of the problem. You are going to cost yourself more money if you don't do it. So my ask of you would be, include the problem, but include the block in that content, because if you include the objection, then now you can move them forward. Goodness gracious. That's a viral reel, right? How 7 people cost my client $1.5 million. I'm going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's big. And then in LinkedIn world, include a little bit of a solution and you getting booked. And that kind of content, we repurpose that in every way possible. That's a blog. That's a YouTube video. Like, wherever you're dispersing content, right? That's a long form caption. That's a short form. Can you believe that 7 people quitting cost my client $1.5 million? Question mark. Like, that's just a truth bomb, drop it. So when y'all get that strong, like, data-based content, run with that for sure. Yes. So hopefully, and thank you, Vernique, for that clarification. Hopefully those two things together help you guys out to know that yes, data is sexy content. It sure is. So the triggers are another word for block, so that we're tying those two things in to your content. The reason why we're bringing this up is because through video, this converts extremely well. When you can do both of those in a video and you're giving them 1 minute, 3 minutes, if it's TikTok, information of like, I get you, I hear you. It's like you're talking to them on a client consultation, right? I understand what your problem is. I validate your problem. I understand why you're hesitant about solving this problem. This is why I'm the solution for you. So solution aware, we go a little bit deeper into their alternatives. So if you want to call it solution aware or solution alternatives, they are kind of interchangeable in terms of how they're understood. I just will always call it aware. And so customer searches for possible solutions. So let's take Barika, right? So my folks are quitting and I'm trying different things. I'm buying a lot of pizza, right? I'm buying a ton of pizza. I am bringing in training. I'm assuming that maybe the problem is training related, that people just are quitting because they don't know how to do their jobs. I'm doing everything but addressing culture, right? And so my background, I don't be talking. My background is organizational psychology, so I study this too, right? And so I get it. So some other things that I would have them address would be even just the overall hiring process. How are you onboarding these people? Like there are other things that you can look. So you can give them, 3 things you can do today to improve your company culture. Address the onboarding. How are people left feeling? What's the follow-up after onboarding? Like give them tips that are even somewhat unrelated to what your solution is, but let them know that you understand this realm well. And because of that, they're going to hire you based off of what you know. And then when you come in, you know your process, you know your framework to get the job done. Solution aware for my mindset people is going to look like, hey, if you are struggling, you're going to go address the Band-Aid and not the wound, right? So what are some Band-Aid solutions that people use when they have a mindset issue, when they have a pricing issue? So for my business coaches or folks, what are they doing to address the Band-Aid? I'm thinking about Stacey and ads, are they paying a bunch of influence without strategy? And they're losing money because they're dumping money into people who don't have proven data and proven results. Like, what are they doing instead of actually getting the right ads at the right time? And those triggers would be wasting money, typically, right? Because that's the biggest trigger at that stage. If I keep trying stuff without guidance, I'm going to waste my money and my time, and my problem persists and probably snowballs. Solution ready in that case. Again, now, so what I want you guys to look at this as a perspective is this is month to month in the best case scenario if you have a completely green lead. So let's say y'all spent, which I highly recommend you guys build the crap out of your network the next 2 weeks. Like go add Facebook friends. The way I do it, my rule of thumb, some of y'all know it. If I have 20 mutual friends with you or more, I am clicking the add button. That is my strategy. And people are like, oh my gosh, I've never added a Facebook friend I didn't know in real life. Yeah, congratulations. We're going to start today. And so we're going to hit the button and we're going to grow our leads. This is just an organic way to grow your network. And so I recommend that to all of you. So build that pipeline of new eyes, because that will really make this strong. Like you literally will walk a brand new stranger through your buyer cycle in record time if you just focus on getting a bunch of new eyes. Yes, Takesha, accept these friend requests. Your bit, like we now have professional profiles for the most part, right? And I really want you to look at that shift. This is your business page. If you want to connect with family and friends, now is the time. Go ahead and make you a new Facebook page that you got locked down, whatever you feel you need to do. But welcome to your Facebook has now accepted that we are not going to use the business pages as our primary method of transaction. We ain't doing it, guys. Thanks for trying. And so isn't that dope? Yes, you get more than 5K with the pro page. And so that is also like so cool. And so, yeah. And I think that's just a professional profile. Once they give you the option to upgrade to professional, you can start to grow. So, and of course, do clean outs too if you need to. So it's just a good time to look at that, right? Look at the landscape and say, here's who I want to target specifically. If I know, Corinda, we talked extensively. So if you're like, hey, I'm moving from having a bunch of clients book me from my personal page, encourage them to start to follow you somewhere else. Go follow my business page and like do a good week of like go follow. Like, I'm not gonna like I'm my business is moving, right? You can have like a little cute sign, a gift or something. My business is moving. If you are one of my beautiful photography clients, I want you guys to go follow me here, segment them out, and that way, if you got to make space, you can. Yes, Stacey, you may have to, like, because I know at one point you were connected to a lot of coaches and consultants, so I actually assumed that. And I know at one point you mentioned e-commerce. I'm like, does Stacey have a lot of e-commerce network people? Probably, I don't know. But yeah, you might need to purge. If they're taking up space, they're not engaging the way you need them to engage, and you had nothing for them, it is not personal. This business is not their business in 2023. So we can be friends through email. Oh, IG, dope, 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 dope. I love it because it definitely got a ton of product-based businesses. They are definitely more prominent on Insta. So that sounds good. But we'll talk through it, just give you guys some ideas. But that's what Patrice would personally do. I always do it though, so I don't have to do a big push for it. But the whole idea for me, my wish for you is that having a new audience as of the 1st of next year means that we can take them through buyer cycle and we can close new people in 90 days or less. And sometimes the buyer cycle otherwise can be 6 months to 18 months, and that sucks butt. And we don't want to take that long to convert our people. Okay. So that's where we are. Solution loyal just means that you have a internal pipeline. So like y'all, some of y'all, this is not your first time with me. Thank you. Okay. That means that you see me as a solution to a long-standing goal. That means that you're solution loyal. You could have went on YouTube and found some random person, but they're not as cool as me. And I'm grateful you know that. And so you're here. And so that comes from internal, is a period. That comes from internal opportunities for folks to continue to work closely with you. So that's not necessarily external content. That's what you're offering in your offer suite, how you interact in between, et cetera. Okay. And so those triggers for solution ready. And Thais, thank you. Just, hang around for us in the group. So Thais is going to go get cute for her event. Thank you for being here. If y'all have questions and stuff about IG specifically, she can help out in the group. But thank you for tapping in. Marika, I do personal life coaching. So same, right? I kind of mentioned this earlier that my Insta is like my life coaching place, but I don't do a lot with it. We can decide. So we'll think about it. We'll figure it out. My personal recommendation, for the sake of not being double-minded, is to have a home for your different brands. This can be as simple as LinkedIn is for your business to business and your Facebook is for your life coaching. But it just makes it really easy to say, oh, I have a content idea for life coaching. Let me put it here, always here. Hey, I have an idea for my business to business. Let me put it there. That works for me. There are some people who are going to argue, like my business coach actually argued me down and was like, Patrice, that's ridiculous. Do it here, do it there. And so I'm like, nah, like my brain's not going to let me put a bunch of conflicting content for different audiences in one place because I'm not getting any traction on my offer. It bothered me. So yes, that's great. So I recommend, if you do have different sides, I am multi-passionate. I think anyone attracted to me is. And so there are different things. Like, we're multi-talented. We can either be done for you, done with you, done around you, like whatever you want, like we can make it work. And so I don't love the thought of like shutting one part down. It's just like, I have different departments under SOS though, right? Y'all know me for reels and copywriting, right? I don't want to give either up. They're both effective. They both make people money. Like, why would I do that? But okay. So yes, that's my thought there. So solution ready, just the trigger to push to the next stage is just, making the offer, literally making the offer and giving them an opportunity to get closer to you. Can they get on the phone with you? Can they come to a webinar or workshop? Y'all should know that I am huge on conversion events. Write that down. Patrice loves conversion events. So if ever you're telling me that you have a conversion problem, I'm going to ask you the last time you had a conversion event. That is a workshop, webinar, masterclass, etc. 3-day challenge, whatever you want to do. I'm going to recommend you do them often and often. Any questions about sales cycle before we move forward? I just wanted y'all to really have this down because this is the baseline for every quarter in your business. The difference between those, the different conversion events, let's talk about it. So webinar to me means that I am going to address one particular problem. So let's use the example of emotional eating. I always take it back here because I like if I was in another life, I'd be an emotional eating coach. Okay. Because I really did in my direct sales days, I was basically an emotional eating coach. Okay. So context. If I were that and I were hosting a webinar, I would talk about one particular topic. I would talk about the 3 signs that you're struggling with emotional eating. That would be me doing what phase, right? Problem aware. You just know that you probably got a problem. We're not, the title is not attracting solution aware, right? It's attracting problem aware. That's a webinar. One topic only that I'm going to just talk or speak about, right? And I'm going to speak about it briefly and specifically. 3 things I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to go through those 3 things and I'm going home, right? Masterclass means that I am going to talk about this one thing, but in great detail. That means that I'm going to go through this one thing and I'm probably going to cover about 5 points or more about how you should think about and understand this topic. I might go through some mindset. I might go through some strategy. I might go through some solution. I'm going to go in depth with this topic, whereas masterclass is surface level. Masterclass's goal is just for you to briefly see that I'm an expert in this area, right? A masterclass means that I am an expert in this area to the point where I can be a solution to you tonight. Right? Me too. I live for, because a masterclass, the people leaving a webinar probably can't they're not going to experience a transformation at all. And usually, how do I say it? You can, thinking about my own quote, I say either a breakthrough. So webinar means that I'm learning more about this topic, right? And I'm qualifying myself. So I would say webinar equals qualifying. I'm learning if I qualify for the solution, right? Masterclass, they should experience some type of breakthrough. They learned enough about this one topic that they can now see where they have a blockage, right? So this part of our presentation is very master classes. I'm going in depth with this with you guys so you understand. And if you were stuck somewhere, you should be able to say at this point in this presentation or whatever, I kind of see where I've been stuck, right? Okay, yes, Stacey, and you want, that's a powerful change, because if webinar to me means that you're just showing me that you know what you're talking about, but masterclass means that I'm going to leave with some type of knowledge that I can apply to my business. I'm more likely to come to a masterclass. I don't go to webinars no more. Your content should be a webinar. Yes. That's right. Webinar is literally a sales session. It's like, I'm telling you briefly, I know what I'm talking about, and now I'm going to tell you. Masterclass may or may not. And then workshop means that we are active. Like, so this is a workshop because we are working from a workbook in my world, right? Like, you guys literally, if you print this out or you use it or whatever, you should be able to make progress in your business immediately during the session. The difference between masterclass is I'm listening in. Workshop is like a masterclass, but y'all are actively working with me. We're actively working through your problems right now, right? You should leave here and be like, I have actually worked with my business today, right? That's the difference. Yes. Deliverables in a workshop. You got it. Look at Bernice in the car. Yeah. My crab smasher here. My kids brought it in here, but yes, I'm excited. Yes. This is great. And so, and then the other one is 3-day challenge. 3-day challenge basically means that you are selling your signature solution. You don't have to do that. Patrice does not like 3-day challenges. I am neurodivergent and I'm not coming. Don't sit with me. I don't want to sit for 3 days for anything. But that's just Patrice. Love the neurodivergent. We don't want to come for 3 days. But there are cases where I recommend my clients do that. And again, my mindset people, they are extremely valuable to you specifically because you have to break a barrier, right? Before you can get to them really understanding the problem. In your case, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my like but, comma, but. So yeah, if you have to break through mindset barriers before people can even listen to your solution, you need to consider a 3-day challenge. Yep. So they are great. They will always be wildly successful, but you got to know your audience and you got to know where they are. I do a lot of business to business. So business to business doesn't usually need them as much, but business to consumer, they're not as educated on their issue and they may need some time with you. Especially if they're not used to investing in coaching. That's the other caveat. If you have people who are not used to investing in themselves or their business, a 3-day challenge might be needed for them to really have an experience with a coach, consultant, service provider, whatever you qualify yourself as, because now they have to build trust with you over 3 days, right? Those are all very valid reasons. I'm just giving y'all, like I've sat through 3-day challenges. I'm like, this was a 40-minute presentation. Why you do that? But that's not everybody, right? So I just gave y'all when I recommend it. I actually have a client doing a 3-day challenge right now. It is because we're educating people that you are multimillionaire ready. And you may be like, yes, girl, I am. But like, secretly, like, well, I'm kind of far from that. You're not actually far away from being a multimillionaire. The reason why you feel far is mindset, right? You feel far because you think you have to be a certain place in your business. You have to be this far along. You have to have this much in revenue. But my client is really dope because she's one of the only people, similar to Shakisha, and this is something that, we could talk more about, but she's one of the only people who teach mindset, business growth, and investing. So you don't just go to her to learn about breaking through your mindset. You get your mindset together. She teaches you how to make more money and she teaches you how to invest that money so you become a multimillionaire. So like, that's why we're doing 3 days, right? Because it's 3 different things we have to cover to really understand she's a solution. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go, right? We feeling good? Can I get some thumbs? Okay, great. So core content planner. This page, we won't stay on it too long because I wanted to kind of keep going. But this is going to be your core content planner. If you're like, and this is actually period, not even just short form video, but this is in general. When I plan content for my clients and I'm like, let me make a really quick content calendar, Mondays will always be pet peeve related. Tuesdays will always be a key quote. And this is ensuring that I'm taking one, like, again, think of a webinar topic, right? The 3 signs that you're ready for and that you struggle with emotional eating, right? My pet peeve might be, people are so hard on themselves when it comes to their eating habits, and it's not their fault. It's literally hormonal. It's this, it's that, whatever. And so I go through all of that. Key quote, problems or preferences. Preferences just means like, if you're doing more desire-based marketing, this is what the life you want and not the problems you have. I think both are effective and needed in your content. We can't just talk about problems all day. We do want to speak about what life do you want, and what are you trying to get to that you have a gap between. Tips and training and storytelling. These are all amazing types of short form video and or any other type of content. That's what I love about these. So if you want to do same thing, a long form video about this, do it. If you want to do a short form, if you want to do a caption, if you want to do an email, take 2 of them and write an email, right? A live video, do all 5 of them in one video. Make it 15 minutes. Bam. Substantial piece of content you can pull from, or better yet, give to an assistant and said, I went live. I covered all 5 of these things. Go to my video and pull out what I said and make them posts. Pull this stuff out and make it an email. This is how I teach my clients substantial content. Go make one YouTube video or go live once, cover all of this and hand it off. We'll take a step further, fill this out and hand them the thing I wrote on this paper or on this Google Doc. There you go. Here's the video. Go make more content from this. Moving on. So we do phase one. So let's go into our phases real quick. We'll try to wrap this up. I want to make sure I can answer as many questions as possible. We ain't got to sit here all night. If y'all like, Patrice, we good. I'm good, but I'm here. That's the whole thing. So we're going to go through this. Yes, you do, Stacey. I'm so excited about you repurposing and transcribing this content. Do you have a favorite transcribing tool that you use?
I haven't looked into it.
What'd you say?
I said I haven't looked into it yet. Do you have one that you've used?
Yes.
Otter? I think I've
Otter
heard
is
of that.
great. My
Okay.
favorite tool in the whole world is actually Google Docs. Let me show y'all real quick. This is my secret weapon when I don't want to do a whole lot. So go to Google Docs, open it up, go to tools, go to voice typing. What I love about this is if you had a video playing on the other tab.
Oh my gosh, that's dope.
The video.
Yes, that's dope.
So Otter will do it too. They even caught your dope in there. But this is my like real quick, like, because get Otter is free too, right? And you got lots of minutes on Otter, so I have no beef with it. But when I'm talking about like, I just want to jump in, I got something real quick that I want to just let it run. I love that another tab can be open and it will just grab those words, and it's literally pretty easy. So that right there is my content repurposing tool of the day. Exactly. Have your assistant do it. Bam, done. They can edit it and you are in there. Phase one, right? So in January, recommendation, let's talk about problem or desire aware. Because again, if you are targeting a higher ticket audience, they are going to be more interested in the life they want. They have a growth mindset. How do you know which one to choose? Do you have people with more of a beginner's growth mindset or existing growth mindset? That's going to help you dictate what kind of content you see or you hear. What I've seen from other people teaching stuff in the content realm, they're like, only do this, only do that. That's not necessarily the case. It's where your people are. A new growth aware person, yes, is ready to invest in growth, but they may not know what they want yet. I remember when I first hired my first high ticket coach, she was like, what do you want, Patrice? I was like, pizza. Like, I don't know, like no one ever asked me that before. And so we had to literally go through like months of like, well, what do you want, Patrice? And I'm like, money. And she's like, no, that's not it. And it took her so much time. When you get to people who literally start and they're comfortable earning, you know, lots of money, then they are like, okay, I am really clear on what I want. I don't really have problems. I just want more good in my life. But I think a healthy content strategy is going to have a little bit of both. So your January is going to speak to, this is a great time to combine it regardless, because you do have more desire aware people, regardless of if they're new or not in January. It's still New Year resolution. So number one here is speak in this checkbox here, speak to your ideal clients' 2023 goals. What do they want this year to feel like, y'all? And that's number one on that list. What's on the dream board for them? What are they really wanting to experience? And get into the feeling. I'll say it again and again, not the item. They don't want the new car. We're not talking about that, right? We're talking about the feeling. They want to feel safe, right? This year, you want to feel like you can earn more money and be safe in it. You want to be able to not tell your children no, right? And be able to have experience after experience. You want to travel the world and really experience without trading something of importance in, like your time or lots of money or your business success. Like, get into that with them. If this is Barika in the corporate side, you know, what do they want to accomplish? They really want to grow and scale that business. And it is nearly impossible if they are having this turnover. But they want to have this company culture where people rave about their company. And more importantly, they attract more people like them to that organization. That's the opposite dream, right? The dream is that your best employee brings their best friend. And they don't even have to recruit because recruiting is extremely expensive, right? And so, yeah, like, can you imagine a culture where your best employees, your most productive employees bring their best friend? That's a dream. So again, desire-based point of view content. So when your video content, that POV that y'all see, maybe not, but you'll say point of view. So again, use an example. You would literally put that POV ... You know, your company finally, attracts the top talent across the US. And maybe you have like a reel of you with like bags, like, or suitcases in your hands, like, I'm flying in to come start at this business because I'm like the top person in the country for this job position. And like, I want to be here and I want to stay here and I want to build with this company. And so that's like a really great way to tie in that video content. And then offering quick wins versus via VIP days is just a great offer suite. So y'all will see me with a bunch of VIP days this upcoming 6 weeks or so. On my calendar can honestly fit. We are taking on more marketing department clients, and like at this point, one of my clients is trying to be like a bully a little bit. She's like, don't take it, like, here, just take more money. I'm like, I still want to help one more company, so we go ahead to work this out. But we are definitely excited about making sure that you are letting people know you are available to help them with that quick win to get them one step closer to their ideal desire, right? So it could look like, let's help you make your next, if you change your prices, let's help you get your next client, right? That's a great VIP day. Let's work together to strategize. So I'm thinking about Corinda, right? Like if you're like, hey, you wanna add a 0 to your prices and go from 500 to 5,000, cool. Let's help you get that next client. Because some people are like actually, bringing stuff home from this mastermind. Again, I'm from a photography family, right? And so I'm there with a photographer family, as a husband and wife. And they are literally amazing. And they are like throwing up in their seats at the thought of raising their prices for, like, they have millionaires flying in to get their pictures taken, and they will not charge more than $1,000 for a package. Millionaires are flying in to take pictures. And they're just like, we can't imagine it. So they would absolutely benefit from a VIP day of like, let's walk through together, you getting your first client that pays you $5,000 because you're scared to do it on your own. Not saying you have to do that, right? You already have a program, but like, this is just, again, using that as an example of how I would bring out a VIP day in this. I want a quick win. I want to know that you're going to hold my hand to help me overcome my biggest mental and physical barrier. To go through the pillars here, we did the first one already. How your ideal client will feel after experiencing their breakthrough. We talked about that. Like, just really be like vision dreamy next month with your vision, with your content in general. We can talk a little bit about that a little bit of solution aware, but what prevented them from reaching their potential in this year, right? Now we're talking about next year. So in 2022, what prevented them from reaching their potential? This could be one of those blocks, right? This could be perception. Again, I think y'all know, yeah. What pitfalls should they avoid this year if they want to experience transformational success? So again, I think you guys can work through that, but this is where I would take all of my content. Like, I'm actually like preparing you as a CMO right now. Like, this is what your content should look like. And you're going to extract this out in video form as you see fit. Why? Because when you bring it out in video, it just gets more visibility, but this is the core of your content. February. So now we have offered them quick wins. We have given them perspective that we understand, we validated, we understand, and we offered them a quick solution. Now we have people who are like, okay, they need some more nurturing, right? They did not convert on your main offer. They didn't convert for a quick win. They need more information. Let's talk about solution and where in February. So we're still talking about their goals, right? We're still doing desire-based content, so we're still feeding into that, but we are going to host this free conversion event. And this event is going to be where we start talking about solutions a little bit more. So I'm not going to read these to y'all. Y'all absolutely can talk through this, but I want to make sure that your content is speaking to what they are considering. When you sit for a month and you have this goal, because we all have these stars in our eyes in January about how amazing our year is going to be, people start to get a little nauseous in February, right? Okay, 30 days has gone by. I see a bunch of, we're going to restart the year now. It's like, what is that doing, you guys? And so now we can really get into that mindset and say, I still believe in your goals, but what? You need tools. It's not going to magically happen. You can't restart the year enough. Like, we just need tools. So like, let's get, like, your goals are still valid to me. Your vision's still valid. This is what we need. So that free conversion event, again, we talked about webinar, workshop, etc. You're going to host that and move them towards that. LaWanda says, do you believe that if you have a free event, you'll attract leads that won't be willing to pay? You want to qualify your audience through your content, which you're lucky because I write your content. And so what we'll do with you in your case, right, is we qualify them. We make it into where if you click this link, you should be a little bit uncomfortable because the way we presented the information and qualified you, you're like, oh, I haven't really been, like, we say, like, you know, this event is for those who have actively been seeking a solution to blank. So if you have not been actively seeking, we use words like investment. Like, we start using words that only resonate with people who are actively investing in this realm. Great job, Stacy. One free last month and got a buyer. Yeah, so definitely you do have, like, this is your first event, and so you do have an audience of people who will be like hungry and people who are just bystanders. That's also okay, right? And I love that, Renee, mixing free and paid. So as time goes on, I don't recommend doing straight up. So y'all will see March is paid. So we do alternate, but in terms of like literally your first event, and you can, I mean, it's no wrong answer, but I recommend free because at this point, I just want to nurture these leads. I want a low barrier of entry. The third one, the third month is paid because now I really want to know who are my hot qualified leads. So month 2, nurturing, you are getting unadulterated access to my knowledge in this unique session. But if you're coming back next month, it's because you want to take a step further towards investing in the solution. And here we are, right? Yep, this is your first event. So for the first one, you know, again, look, you got like guidance as well. So I don't, if your coach said you something different, guess what we doing, what your coach said. But in terms of how I think about nurturing the audience and having the opportunity to have them intimately paying me attention is currency, right? And so if my content can qualify them out and make them feel uncomfortable for being a leech, that's the way I'm going to go. So again, y'all can read through this, but that's what I'm thinking in February. Same kind of content, but saying, hey, if you want this year to be different, you need to be here. Come talk to me at this event. We're going to spend an hour. Yes, leashes. We're going to spend an hour together talking about how to get to your goals. We're going to spend an hour together getting you closer to understanding what it is that you do need. And so if you tried this, if you are considering that, all good, meet me here, right? Meet me here. If you've been nurturing them already, then you could skip. So again, just know your goal, your role is to know where your audience is. If you're like, I've been nurturing them, but nurturing them through content and nurturing them through community are two different things also, right? So just because you've had content that has helped educate them does not mean that they are ready to buy. They need to have an intimate experience with you. And so that could be discovery calls. So like if you were to say, hey, I've done 20 discovery calls in the last 45 days. I've talked to these people, right? Then maybe we skip, right? But if you had nurture content but have not had them book your calendar, your free event is basically you getting everyone in the room for a free consultation. Think about it that way, right? I'm not doing a bunch of a one-on-one. If you don't need to or want to, I'm with you. Let's get them all in one room for a free consultation, basically. And then at that point, we can convert as needed. So, like I mentioned, now we're going to go into the craftsmanship of your offer. One of the things that homework assignments that I would have you guys do, even if it's not publicly shown on your website or shared very often, is itemize your offer as much as you can. Like to the point where maybe, again, it's kind of obnoxious. It just makes content creation and writing your first book, which hopefully you guys are in the midst of doing that. You got a course, most of y'all do. Like when you really itemize out your main core offer, it just makes everything else flow from it easier. So emotional eating coach, right? If I'm an emotional eating coach and my core program offers a food tracking journal, it offers a one-on-one sessions once a month, it offers group sessions, whatever I'm literally offering line by line, like pull it out, this workbook, right? Whatever I'm giving in this thing, why did you choose that as part of your offer? Right? Like, no, why? Like, why did I choose a food journal and not a food accountability group? Right? So like now my content can speak to, and it could be funny, it could be petty, right? Like y'all still offering accountability groups virtually in 2023? Be petty, right? Like they don't work the way they should. Like you got to get people in person or whatever. So that helps you get creative through your video content now, right? So why did you choose what you choose in your offer? What experiences have you had in other with your coaches or with your learning path that you're like, I'm making something completely different than what I've seen? Why are you going this route? Why are you being a rebel, right? This is really, really fun content. Share signs they're ready for transformation, right? You know you're ready. POV content, once again, POV, you're sick of the same old and you're ready for change. So we are really nurturing them in this month to be buying ready in March. And again, you might be like, hey, I can move this up into mid Feb. I can move this up to Feb 1. That is all great because again, each of y'all are in different places of how you've been marketing. But again, my ask of you is to audit and say, have you given them problem-based content, right? Problem aware or desire aware? Have you given them the alternatives? Have you said, yeah, I know you've been reading a ton of books. How's that going? Right? The books can only take you but so far. And really help to, let them know, I get it. I know you're trying stuff, but this is why I am the best tool in your tool shed. And so that is there. So some unique value add that no one else does. We talked about that. Like why did you include what you included in your offer? Why did you not include? Some of y'all love Voxer, some of y'all hate it. Why did you choose it or not choose it, right? Some of y'all love group coaches, some of y'all hate it. Why did you go that route? What kind of access do they get or not get? Like really think about why, like sometimes, like again, we look at our coaches and like, look, like cracking up. When we were at the mastermind, I just copied my PowerPoint parts from Donna. I'm like, if Donna got a 100K offer, I now have a 100K offer. Holla. I don't know what it is, but she put it on hers and I'm gonna put it on mine. Right. And so there are some cases where we just do this. Like my coach does it, then what's up? It must be good. But I had to still be able to come back and say, this is why it's part of my offer suite. And I had to do the work to be able to say this is why, and this is the access they're going to get to me and why it's going to change their life. And then to kind of piggyback off of our paid versus free conversation, what is this breakthrough that they're going to get at this paid enrollment event that's going to help them towards their transformation? So just be clear about that, because when people are like, oh, the last one was free. Yeah, but we're going to really get you a breakthrough in this one small area along the way of your full transformation. You're not going to change your entire life from this, but you're going to be much better because you came. Thanks. Okay. So that's that part. So that gives us the opportunity to like think through how we're gonna plan our content. So how are y'all feeling for one?
I have a question.
Yes.
What do you do to avoid the whole idea of like giving them that one piece that's just gonna cause them problems down the road if they have that one piece without the other pieces, and then it's just gonna cause, I feel like it's just gonna cause them problems. Like,
Very clear about it at the end. So this part of the presentation would be like, you now know how to like, this is my secret right here. But let me tell you something. If you run off the plug and you do this by itself, here's what's gonna happen. And I'm warning you, you can go do it. Call me a liar. But this is what happened when I or when my client, you give a testimony that or a case study. I had a client that only did this. Now, did she see some results? She absolutely did. But here's why she needed the whole program. This is why, and kind of how we mentioned, right? This is why my program is built the way it is. I know what problems you're going to encounter if you only do this. And then this program is going to help you avoid those problems. So like you literally, yes, please do, Veronique.
Hey y'all. So I want to add to that too, that like whether you go with the one piece approach, or I know some people, I've done this and I've attended master classes or webinars that have done this where they lay out like there's been a time when I was my flagship program, I would lay out the entire thing. This is what you do. This step 1, 2, and 3. This is actually my signature system for, I'm a relational trauma therapist and coach. So this is for you moving forward after trauma, right? This is the whole thing. You can do this, like Patrice said, you can say, this really isn't enough. Like you have the information, but what you need me for is the execution, right? But then the other side though is, at least for me, and I'm not sure what your business is, you doing this on your own is nowhere near as impactful as doing it in my group program and with my expertise. You're going to have this support. You're going to have like these things. And so it's almost like highlight the difference in experience, even if they can do it on their own, even if you gave them the whole thing, whether it was the one piece, the one thing, right? And it's like, no, there's 10 more steps after this, which is one approach. And I've done that as well. But the other thing is, even if I give you the whole game, let me show you the difference of experience that you're going to have if you don't do this with me. And so you're highlighting that as well. I hope that answered or added to what Patrice was saying.
Yes, like that. She's like, either way you slice it, like your role as a mentor in their life, even if they're not paying you, is like, and Stacey said it too, how's that working? Like don't piecemeal together. And so some people will, we know people are hard-headed, and and it feels like a risk. It's like, oh my gosh, like, but you're not responsible. If you gave them an opportunity, it's almost like being a midwife. If you tell me that having a baby is really hard and you go home and you try to do it alone, baby girl, no one told you to do that. No one told you go home and have that baby by yourself. And so now what? Come on back in here. Let's help you have your baby, And so some people will be hard-headed, and that's okay, but you don't stop doing your job because of it. And so that is so good. So that's great. Any other questions in this piece? Because I do have some. I'm gonna have y'all like introduce your businesses. We have 15 more minutes or so, and so we'll make sure that y'all feel good about overall because now y'all have a robust plan, right? Like this is now your marketing Bible. Like you can take this and every quarter, rinse and repeat as you get new leads. You're like, okay, I know what to do if I have a bunch of people watching. There are a bunch of people in that 80% category. How do I move them through? There are cases where you don't have to take 3 months for this. This can be a six-week plan, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, right? And you can test it out and see. If I go through, sometimes this is going to be a 3-week plan, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, right? And so you're going to be able to figure out in your business, but this all has to do with how much trust your people have in them knowing you can solve their problem. And so I give it to you in a 3-month window because I do want y'all to stretch the muscle of saying, can you continue to talk about where they are in business to where you're building such a strong level of trust, they have no choice but to work with you. Awesome. So you got Miss Veronique and I here for a few more minutes. And so, Ronique, what I'm gonna have you do real quick, I'm gonna pause the screen here, stop sharing. Just because everyone may not have heard your story or known your journey on TikTok, right? Because right now, of course, this TikTok is in the air. We're not sure if we're gonna wake up and it's gonna be banned one day, but nonetheless, I think that the experience is crucial. So can you walk us through your 20K TikTok journey this year, and just some general tips in case someone wants to embark on TikTok as their next platform if it's still living?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. One, every time that Patrice brings me on the platform, I'm gonna say this. She is literally one of the most like amazing human beings when it comes to like life in general, but also social media strategy marketing. I say all the time that she is the marketing GOAT. So I connected with her earlier this year. She was talking about how she was having the Reels challenge. What's it called? The real.
Do we do one reel a day? No.
Yeah. It was one reel a day challenge. And I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about this TikTok thing and, I feel like I should try it out. And so she said, all right, well, join the challenge and like, let's get going. And so it was kind of like, and she wanted to try some other things as well. And so we were kind of encouraging each other. And so the first round of the challenge, I went for it. But I psyched myself out because I was like, ugh, another platform, right? Another thing. And even though the challenge ended, Patrice was like, no, I really think that you can do this. So I was like, okay, fine. So I was in a space where I was trying to really iron out my messaging. I had booked a strategy session with Patrice in order to kind of like, is this the direction I want to go and smooth things out? We came up with a plan and all that good stuff. I'm skipping over a bunch of stuff, y'all. So I'm trying to, because I know y'all got to get out of here. But then once we were sure and I had crossed my T's and dotted my I's about the direction I wanted to go, I made a video really just detailing using the information that I learned. So for one, I watched other people's videos that were also service providers, and like how were they connecting with people, how were they creating content, and I found some key things like how they edited, how quickly they spoke, how they presented the information and material. I tested that. I put it all in one video. I literally prayed. I said, God, if this is the direction that I'm supposed to go, if this is the work that I'm supposed to be doing, I want this video to go off. And lo and behold, I posted the video. When you're really antsy about a piece of content, you post it, and then 5 minutes later you check again, and then 10 minutes later, that was me the whole night. But I was like, these numbers is kind of doubling every time I open this app. And so I was like, okay, all right, fine. I'm not gonna freak out. It's only like 80 likes, right? Within an hour or something like that. I went to bed and I woke up viral. And so not only was I viral, but a big platform on Instagram picked it up and posted it, and then it went viral there. People were sharing it. It was insane. I had actually one video that went viral prior to that, and it was a fluke. And it wasn't really about anything. And it didn't have as much of an impact though as that second one that still kind of gets shared to this day. It's over, I think, 250K now on there, but it's, I don't even know what, on Instagram. And so from there, I had several viral videos after that by using my personality as well as just really understanding the culture of TikTok to sell my virtual courses. I got a ton, and I really do mean a lot. Like I had to turn people away of one-on-one clients for therapy, coaching. I launched a second program, like a quick 6-week program that I tested out through that. And so it's been absolutely amazing. And so now I really could be over 20K, but I haven't been investing in the platform as much lately. So that's on me. Don't be like me. But TikTok is one of those platforms that if you pour into it, it will pour back to you. And it's all by connecting, engaging, and being part of the culture that is set on that app. It's really different than a lot of the other apps.
So let's talk real quick about that. And I got Stacey's question here. So for TikTok, what I've noticed the difference, and one thing that you have reminded me, if I'm going to repurpose video, start on TikTok. So that's like a tip for you all. If you're like, hey, I do want to just get my stuff distributed out to other platforms, I want to repurpose. If you study the TikTok culture, that translates better in other platforms and trying to do the Instagram thing first and put it over on TikTok.
Yeah.
So what are some culture things in your niche? Because it may not apply one-to-one, but like what's one thing that you noticed about TikTok culture that you're like, I do this for real on TikTok if I do it nowhere else?
Yeah. So for one, I love that you like brought that back, because TikTok is like the Twitter of short form video now. So whereas Twitter started trends and then it would ooze into Facebook and then people would repurpose it to Instagram, now Instagram is trying to keep up. Any viral sounds and trends, TikTok most of the time heard it first. And so that's why that's really important what you said. But as far as things that I do, if I don't do it anywhere else, I'm going to teach. People on TikTok love information. I can teach on IG too, but the culture of Instagram wasn't really like that yet, right? It was about aesthetics and it was about all these other things. It's moving towards that now, but I'm going to teach. I'm going to be knowledgeable. They love information on there. They love learning about something new. They love key phrases. I just posted a video just testing something out. I was like, should we talk about performative healing? Y'all, performative healing is not a thing. I made that up, but they like key like buzzwords and terms. So I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna be an expert there. The other thing is like dry humor, sarcasm. Sometimes if I'm making more of a personality or like transparency based piece of content, then I'm gonna use some dry humor. There's certain language that I'll use there. You just gotta kind of know like what's kind of the lingo coming around. Obviously be you. Don't do anything that's not right for you. But like I don't cuss, but like it will often. And their whole thing that started there was like BFFR, be effing for real. Well, if I'm making a point and I'm like, yeah, I was teaching something, I made a video like this and I was like, hey, I disagree with the flack that this video was getting because insert my expertise, insert what I do, like be for real. Y'all were not gonna da 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 da. And so using certain language to connect and kind of draw them in. Another thing that I will do if I don't do nowhere else is I'm editing out the pauses. They don't mind a 2-minute video. They don't mind a 1 to 3 minute video, but you better not be talking slow and you better not leave unnecessary dead space unless you're doing like a vlog type of video. Where you're like, hey, get ready with me while I go, da, 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 and the person's talking or giving a story time. But they tend to like quicker paces when it comes to talking. And so I've learned to do that there as well. So those are some key things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And be real. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, but it does have to be clear because people will call you out on your own video. And so, yeah.
That's beautiful. So that just gives you guys some thank you. And it's just been so fun because I've watched you have fun on your TikTok journey. And I think that's the one thing I want to leave you guys with. And I'll get to Stacey's questions, but the one thing I haven't talked enough about is how much fun we have making these videos. And the minute that you're overthinking it, like LaWanda, I've watched you have a ball. Okay. And so I'm so proud of you. I've watched Takesha have a ball. I've seen Stacey come out and water her plants. Like I'm watching you guys literally like just be yourselves. And those videos do so well. And so at the end of the day, we're not influencers by any stretch, but that is part of the attraction marketing that I am classically trained in, right? So my first business was very much, I want to work with Patrice. And I'm learning that now, like, my most recent client is like, I didn't know how I was going to work with you, but I was going to work with you. Right. And so that speaks to this video marketing. And so this contract that, we are in the process of will probably be my biggest yet. And it's literally because I have been visible in video and I've proven to be an asset in that way. And so that's what I want for you all to say, hey, all that you are, you're quirky, the purple hair, like all of these things that you guys are just the coolest on the web, right? Can we share that in a way that people are just like, I don't care if you baking cookies this month, like I'm just trying to get a cookie. And Monique said, when you overthink it, it loses its magic. If I won't even finish if I did too much, that's awesome. Sneak the sale on TikTok. So yes, they are not trying to be sold. They are here. It's basically short form YouTube, right? Like they don't want to hear a bunch of sales. They want to come to learn a topic in this realm, which is great because you guys are experts at what you do. Just tell them, but go be mad smart. That's what I said. Go be mad smart on TikTok. They want you to be mad smart. So go look up your niche, like go to TikTok, type in what it is that you do. If you're a photography coach, mindset coach, ads expert, whatever you do, and go sort by the last 7 days if possible, and you can see what has done the best in the last 7 days and what's done best most recently. And if they're teaching, there we go. There we go. They aren't scared of big concepts. I love that. I did want to spend some time. I know we have some folks with some team members, so I definitely want to talk about repurposing, right? Process. How do you create a system where you can now delegate your videos to other people? So Stacey, I love your question. And I know Takesha has some questions about this too, but how can we make this to where this is not, because anything that I teach y'all, it's just for y'all to know it for like a good hot 90 days, and you needs to be hiring somebody. This is not the long-term ministry. This is just to get going. So what's your question, Stacey?
Yeah, that pretty much kind of was leaning into my question. So I have an assistant that I am trying my damnedest to get ahead of so that I can give her the content and then she can just schedule stuff out. But I find myself getting behind, posting the day of. Like last night I did my workshop and I was like, well, I got makeup on, let me record some reels. And so wondering just like how you delegate, what is kind of the workflow that you use when you're working with another person that is assisting you with the posting? How do you get ahead of that so that you don't have to spend all your time every day jumping in and remember like, oh, let me make sure I post something?
So that the workflow looks like, and that sounds, thank you for first, thank you, because you can go here, you look cute, you go enjoy your Friday night, girl. Thank you so much. You are so appreciated. If y'all have specific TikTok questions, again, the group is going to be open for the rest of the month. Pop in there and be like, yo, I want to get on TikTok. That's my dream. I want TikTok money. And so we are here to answer questions at the end of the month. So thank you. I love
Absolutely.
you.
Tag me in any questions that you have, and I'm happy to be here. This was amazing. Patrice, thanks.
Of course, thank you. So I'm going to share with y'all an internal look at my content calendars. Let's go in Canva because I want to show y'all from top to bottom. I think that is one here. Okay, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Y'all can't see that yet. Believe if I do this, y'all can see this. Okay, y'all can see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically the first step is going to be take your workbook, right? What month, what phase are you in, right? What phase are you in with your content? That's question number one. So if you are in the problem aware phase and you want people to be aware and have more clarity and you shift their mindset around the problem they're having, now we want to create a content calendar. This one was just for reels, but typically the topics I put here are going to be always digital marketing based. You can take any of these topics and be able to make an email around it, right? Like these can all be email headers, right? These can all be topics for a live video. Like these are really strong topics. So if you have this written out in advance, you can do answerthepublic.com to find out what people are Googling. My favorite thing, I actually will show y'all what I do real quick. I will go to pinterest.com. I will type in, I didn't want to do that, guys. Okay. Asking me stuff. Okay. Let's say, you know how I feel about emotional eating. So I'll say, let's do something more simple. Let's do mindset. So we got quotes that people like. We got, I don't like this. Okay, let's do this. Let's do business, coaching. I'm trying to find a good one for y'all. I guess this is, let's say start a business. Okay, this is much better, much better. Okay, so what's something that people want to do? So start a business, make more money, whatever the case is. That's what we want to put in a action in this tool, not just a topic. And so this is going to give you what people are looking for. This is great for freebie shopping, right? If you want to figure out what your next freebie or next lead magnet is going to be, paid digital products going to be. I love this particular search. Google is great, but this is better for me. So now I know people want to know how to start a business from home. I'm going to use this terminology so my stuff is SEO friendly. Why? Because all TikTok is just a big SEO engine. Pinterest is just a big SEO engine. Facebook is growing. I'm going to make content around a checklist in this case, right? So, 3 things you need to start a business is a great topic then, right? Some of my key quotes, what are some things I tell all my clients around starting a business? Great, right? So all these things for me are going to be fed into this content calendar in this way. And some of the buzz things you can see here, my top secret, how I embrace blank, the top blank, if you want blank, the biggest difference between blank. These are all like really strong topics. So number 1, get this on paper. So when you get cute, I can probably do 5 of these in a row and make them a minute each. Right? Y'all can do 5 minutes, right? And so then you're cranking that out. Once that's done, if this is just talking head, or you can make it fun. You can be in the background, you can be dancing a little bit if you want to dance. If you're drinking your coffee at the little cute coffee shop, you can, I've seen Takesha do great with that, just lifestyle-based video. You can make the title, if you want your money to start working for you, start here. And you're just sipping your coffee at a cute ambiance place and the screen's flashing up with your tips, right? You've done the same thing, Stacey, too. So like you can do the talking head, just talk for, 5 minutes, or you can bank that content, which is also recommended. Have a day out where you are cute. Maybe you recorded your 5 minutes in the house. And if you're feeling real froggy, you go out to a restaurant real quick, or you go somewhere outside and you record some content, living your life, right? And so now you have 2 types of content, which I call training, and then you have your timeless. Timeless means this is just you and lifestyle and business, and it never gets old. We're going to always want to see what it looks like to work behind the scenes with and for you. This is great. Exactly. That's great. So if you are just recording it, now you can give your assistant a bank of content and she can decide. Like at that point, you're really not overthinking it. You're like, you don't know what she's going to choose for these tips. So at that point, you say, okay, I got these 5. I'm going to write out the answers. Okay. If you want your money to start working for you, start here. For you, you want your ads to start working for you, start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she just popped those on the screen. And so that's your workflow. In terms of organizing that, I'm the only Trello girl left in the world. It feels like I still like Trello.
I still use Trello too. Yes.
People like, Monday and Tuesday.com, Trello.com is where you can find me. Let me see if I still have.
I love a good list. Like just give me a list and I got some check marks and I'm good to go.
Show me the basics. And so that's where I would go. I would go to Trello. So let me actually show y'all a content calendar. I have to log it and stuff. So y'all gonna be like, oh, I got Patrice's password for Trello and all her content stuff. I ain't gotta think ever again. Let me get this out for y'all. Let me see. Content creation boards. Yes. This is one of my mini boards that I probably made like a year or 2 ago of me brainstorming CMO content, right? So we're CMOs. And so I just brainstorm, like, again, that way my content calendar, maybe I don't do it all in one sitting. Maybe I add to this as the month goes on, right? Whatever it looks like. And then these are the different categories that I speak on. So as I'm thinking about stuff, instead of me posting, and this is key, y'all listening? I'm waving the my hands. When you get an assistant, you no longer post in real time, even when you're tempted. You go to your system, because then you'll never have a bank. You'll always go expend, right? And so I try to bank first. And if you got to go into your archives and repost something or whatever, repurpose it. I rather you repurpose content if it's you than to take your new stuff and post it. Why? Because you will never get in the habit of banking. It is really tough to get out the habit. So this is how I organize it. Okay, extend the enterprise. Here, like every time I talk to a discovery call, like I will never turn off discovery calls forever for good. I get so much good content from them. And so like I know I talked to Corinda and I was like, I got like a post immediately. I lied just now. Like I just went and posted right away. But like, yes, it was like, aha, like I always hear this phrase when I talk to my client. They're like, just tell me what to post, bro. Like, I'm sick of thinking about this stuff, right? And so that's the kind of stuff that should have went on my Trello board. So that's my system. And then if you got a admin doing it, of course, you may have an actual like lane or whatever you want to call it, category for where you're banking your content. So my photo shoots links, I have it with my team. They had links to all my photo shoots, my Google Drive. Pro tip, I do not like how Google Drive converts the video. It can often be very blurry and it makes me very mad, very mad. I personally will use Apple and I'll use an Apple folder. So just to show y'all, because I'm sure even if you're not an Apple, if your team member is not an Apple user, so if you're all Android, I know they got other ways. I'm just giving y'all what I use. The shared album folder. And so let me stop sharing here so I can show y'all. So it'll be in the shared album. So we go from, shared albums, we click on what we need, right? So we're in the shared album here. It's a BTS. The menu, the 3 little buttons up there, we'll click on that. I'm sorry, no, we'll click on the little man, the little person in the circle. Person in the circle. And it's going to give us the option for a share link. Y'all see that? That share link, if it's because Jessica's the owner of this one. If you're the owner, it'll give you the option to make that share link. She did it for me so I can have it. That share link means that if the person is not a Apple user, they can still look at the album and still pull the content down. It just, to me, that has preserved the quality of the content a little bit more. If y'all are both Apple users, great, because then they can just get the album and pull it off as if it's their photo album. And that's, beautiful. But Dropbox makes me mad. Google Photos makes me mad.
I mean, that's a great, like, I'm definitely going to do that with a shared folder, because that's that was annoying me too. It's like having to one remember to upload it to Dropbox, or like put it in Airtable and all that kind of stuff. But just having an album where it's like all the stuff is just there.
Right.
And my assistant uses an iPhone as well, so
Perfect.
yeah, that's me right there. I'm definitely gonna do that.
That does it. Like that's like she just said, they could edit it and share it back, because again, sometimes they can't. I do recommend that y'all share access to, if it's Instagram, through LastPass.
Yep.
And I'll show y'all LastPass real quick, just for the sake of, again, I am a huge advocate of y'all having and growing a team. So LastPass has an option. This is what it looks like on the inside. So I have stuff shared with me, and then I have stuff shared with my team. You can organize them however you want, y'all can see here. And what we do is we add something. Let's see if it lets us add a password. No. It's down here at the bottom. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll add the URL, you'll name it, that way you can find it. So whatever, if it's like, Patrice's Instagram. You can add it to whatever folder. This for me would be social. Put your username and password, right? And then it's going to ask you once you save it and you're ready to share it. Sorry, I cannot see because of my tool here. Let me move this. Okay, so let's go here. So you can either allow the recipient to view password or not. And so that way, if you click, you know, if you don't click it and you share it with them, they're not going to be able to see that password. So that way, y'all just have an inside look. Yes, LastPass is an absolute game changer. So, you know, pro tips with it, you almost absolutely have to have the LastPass extension. You'll have a lot of hiccups in the beginning. So y'all shaking y'all head, y'all know the extension is a must-have. It does not launch the way the little launch button is for fake. It's for show. It does not do what it needs to do. So that extension will get you going. So that way, if you are sharing the content with your assistant, they can at least edit it, and then I do have them send the draft back to me so I can see it. But then once they approve the draft, I'm like, okay, go ahead, you're good. Go ahead and post it on social. Beautiful. Anything else y'all thinking? How y'all feeling? Does this give y'all some perspective? I know it's a lot of info. That's why I'm still here. I don't go anywhere. It gives y'all time to digest some of it. But how I want you to think about it is that video is complementary to what you learned today. This is how you're going to win on social, right? Y'all got the game plan. And so now as you deciding, I want to take this concept and broadcast it through video this time versus all video, right? It's going to be a mix, but this was a digital marketing instruction. Go disperse it however you see fit. And when you do video, you know, I'm just going to get more eyes on this particular content.
What editing program do you recommend?
So what is it? What is it? InShot. I like InShot. I love Video Leap. Y'all may know if y'all been to a class, that's my favorite. It's
I was about to say, I think that's where I learned it from, is from your Reels class.
yes, Video Leap is my favorite. It is now becoming more paid, so I stopped recommending it as much just for that reason. It's another one, y'all, that I really, really like. Dang, hold on. My phone's out of memory, so I've been deleting stuff like crazy, and it's really sad because then you start looking for it, and you're like, ooh, what is it called? I'm not gonna be asleep if I don't get this to you. So just, you know, just wait right there. App Store. You use Mojo? I saw that one. I'm sure they've updated it since I tried it like 2 years ago. Super old. InShot. Okay, yeah, we talked about that, right? CapCut. CapCut is the other one. So CapCut is like the new favorite. It's actually going viral right now on TikTok. Like TikTok is now receptive to CapCut videos, and so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I am also impressed that most of these short form video apps, excuse me, are now like they've updated their editing software, so it is easier to edit in app. Also, that's also a good news. So if you're just like, oh, you know, you can do a better edit in app. But yeah, I Video Leap is my favorite. That's what I use hands down. And then I also will use on my other phone, I will use the CapCut.
Also, like sometimes I use the templates that they have all like built into Instagram, where you can just like hit use template and then you just pick the photos you want. That's been working pretty well. But again, I've been posting in the day of, and I'm trying to get out of that. So like, yeah.
Teaching the assistant to do the same, which again, that's the key. Like it's really tough because we're doing all the hat, we're wearing all the hats still, right? So you're like, crap, like I need to get something out. So yeah, I would just say, you know, if you want to post day of, then challenge yourself to make 2 videos that day. You know, pass one along. That's my last ask. Like do 2. You post one, you give one for her to edit for tomorrow, but that way you're not like in that hamster wheel and someone's suddenly waiting for you, right? For content, waiting for an assignment, and you just can't give them anything.
Yeah.
Anything else? I would love, y'all can do it in the chat, but give me one takeaway from today. I know I love that. One thing that you're just like, yeah, that I needed that. Like that's gonna help me, with this next 90 days running on social, making all the money.
I think the biggest for me is the workflow is like literally blows my mind. I'm like on Canva now, like I need to create this calendar ASAP.
Yes.
But two, I think that a lot of my content assumes that people already are aware that they need to run Facebook ads. And so I'm not doing a whole lot of problem aware. I'm more so focusing on the solution aware. But I need to do some more problem aware content.
Yes. Makes me happy. And it's the perfect time. I'm so happy. Like January is perfect for that, right? It's a new year. Our ads right for you content, right? Here's how here's what they do, here's what you can do with them. Because you do, especially in the product side, you kind of have two different groups of people. Some that just decide they wanted to start selling something and they don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
In e-commerce, ads are crucial, but you hear about it and don't know what any of that really means. The sales cycle is great, Takesha. That's so exciting. Barika, I think keeping in mind the buying process, customer journey, great. If nothing else, anybody who comes through my doors, I just want, like, y'all will always hear me talk about it. We'll always bring it back to that because that is the key to conversion. That's conversion content. So when I'm writing, when I'm creating, when I'm coaching, whatever I'm doing, I'm troubleshooting, it's always going to come back to that sales cycle, customer journey. Love. Well, guys, this was amazing. Can I get a thumbs up if you feel like you know where you're going with your video? She's like, nah.
Now
I just want
need
to
go
say,
grow,
go ahead.
grow some balls to actually just do it.
You can't get it wrong. And like I said, and I apologize for not saying this enough before, I just want you to go have fun. I want you to laugh. I want you to giggle. I want you to twirl. I want you to be you. I want, because we're not even, the thing with video is that people are literally looking at you and making a very soul decision if they're going to work with you. It's not even really so much of what you say or even what you do. It's like a connection thing. It's like you look at a person, with my coach, I looked at her and was like, I don't even know what she's saying. Just whatever, just take my card. At this level, you don't need, it's like either I mean, and I just talked to one of my clients. I think she accepted my friend request on a Wednesday and was paying me by Friday. And she was just like, I just knew you, I just knew. Here you go. You on the team, welcome. And it's so funny because the other person she did that for, I just brought on my team and did the same thing. I'm looked at her, I'm like, you good, come on in here. You there's your seat. You got a seat. I don't even know you like that, but welcome to the team. We just know, right? And so video just helps to cut down that, the pictures and the text and stuff. People do it there too, but the video, people are just like, your people will know the sound of your voice. And I say it to myself every day I get stuck and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go live or whatever. Your people will know the sound of your voice. And so you can't get it wrong.
I just want to say thank you so much, Patrice, from everything. The Reels course really, I'm already been good on camera, but that gave me the push to just create the content and have fun and not overthink it and to learn how to batch. But I think for this time, this workshop really gave me the know-how of what to create, because with Reels it's like, okay, I just want to have fun, or I want to educate them, or I'm just using, like she said, a template, or I'm using this sound, and it was just fun. One thing that I did, because I had to get over my own mindset about Reels and social media and all of that, was I created the video on Instagram and I posted it everywhere. I'm posting it on Facebook. I'm posting it on Facebook Reels. I'm sharing it to stories. I'm sharing it to TikTok, and I'm putting it as a YouTube short. And what I've noticed is that because I've created it, I now have no attachment to what it's gonna do because it's so unpredictable. I had one reel on YouTube get to like 700 views in like 2 hours. And then the next one, it was like nothing, but then it like blew up on Instagram. And then the next day it's like great on TikTok. So I'm now like, it doesn't matter what they do as long as like people are clicking on it. I like took all detachment off of it. So thank you for this. So I'm excited to create more intentional teaching content now. Because I wasn't doing that before. So thank you for this class.
So welcome. And to that point, y'all, you will notice that almost every time. And it will be from video to video. She is so right. Whatever goes viral on TikTok, Instagram is frowning. And even my friends, I have friends that are viral TikTok stars. You hear me, that aren't breaking 1,000 views on Instagram. I'm talking about almost every video is 200K views. You know, like 900 on Instagram. Like no one's immune. And so yes, do not be attached. It's not going to be a hit everywhere. But for me, I say viral worthy because that means, is it going viral with the people who you want it to convert with, right? I'm not worried about the whole numbers everywhere. For your audience, is this hitting them and is this moving them towards the sale? Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's all I've got. LaWanda said having structures on with the post, posting with the purpose, that is the goal. So you guys know you can track your progress and we can troubleshoot. So if you're ever like, okay, I'm posting, I'm not sure, y'all now have a way to say, all right, let me see, am I doing too much of this? Or, switch it up. Even for you, don't be afraid. If you post 2 weeks of like problem, a solution aware, and they're like, cool, you can move on. When you feel like your audience is ready, you can move on, but y'all now have a plan to at least start with, and you can edit it as you go. So just so you all know, again, I am here. The most I'll be offering, I have 2 offers for this upcoming season. The first is expand the enterprise. So if you want me to write your captions for you, it's going to fall in that realm, right? I'll make the calendar for you. I'll write 30 days of captions, and I am now your CMO for 30 days. So like now I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Like, what's the game plan for this month? And so I'm going to have limited spaces for that because again, I am being pulled into the department realm. The other way you guys can work with me is VIP day. So again, the quick win, same for you. If you're like, hey, I want you to tell me what to post. I want you to tell me what we're about to do. I want you to help me really get clear on the ideal client and what they need from me. I think you guys got a good snippet of that today of like, okay, this is like what the clients need to hear. But if we need to deep dive and say, yeah, no, like let's really get clear on the problem where. Like that's the part that gets most folks tripped up, where it's like, I have not really been talking about the problem enough. Okay, cool. Let's go through that in detail so you feel really confident. Or it can go on the flip side where there's another, again, quick win that you need from me. So that's going to be the way that we work together the most, I would say through the end of January. Y'all, first to know, I am going to be like dismantling Charismatic Copy the way that we know it. And so it won't be as much a la carte available. I will do some monthly subscriptions, but again, I'm moving most of our done for you to larger projects right now, and then being available for this like mini CMO offer for captions only for a little bit. So I'd love to have you come in if you need me, but again, I'm here. Y'all got a CMO for 15 more days. So holla at me.
Thank you so much. This was great.
You're welcome. Have a good night and thank y'all for coming.
Bye.
Bye.